was a door that opened.
We are ready to go.
He speaks well.
Welcome on board. We hope you have a great flight with South African Airways today. Now, nothing is more important to us than your safety. So, even if you're a frequent flyer, we'd appreciate your attention while we take you through some of the safety features of this aircraft.
This is my first visit to Malawi and only the second visit for the division. So I think we're really still in the assessment phase. So what I hope to do is to learn more about the needs of the college there and of the hospital, and to listen and to really find out what they need. Another thing is to also see what we can do in terms of building relationships with research.
Morning.
Good morning, good morning.
First day, real day.
How are you feeling?
I'm less tired than I was yesterday.
Good, good. You slept well?
I did really well, like a rock. I didn't move for probably 12 hours.
How about you, Mr. Woodward?
Here's the videographer, Isaac. I slept great.
Good.
Slept great.
You ready for your presentation?
I'm ready. We'll see.
All right.
We'll see.
We've sent some textbooks over that were needed and markers for the radiography students were also ordered and sent. Just kind of some initial site goals, investigations, really just opening a dialogue so far has been accomplished. My colleague Sarah and I went in September and just kind of met our peers there and discussed what their goals were and what our goals were moving forward.
Mr. Woodward, how was the presentation?
Hey, I guess it went okay. You were there to watch it.
Very excited to be at the hospital to meet Mr. Chippa, Dr. Muzamara, the only radiologist who is a government-employed radiologist in Malawi. There are actually only 5 radiologists in the whole country, and 2 of them are private practice. Mr. Muzamara is the head of the department, who technically is the administrator, but we were talking and he said, you know, as you know, administrator's job is huge, so he allows Mr. Chippa, one of the technologists, to basically run the department. And so I spent the day with Mr. Chippa, and they have many, many needs. This country has just started implementing performance evaluations. They have just a shell of a tool, just basic management concepts of people coming to work when they're supposed to be at work, actually doing patients and not leaving. He had many questions about workflow and staffing. So I'm just very, very excited. I think there are many, many things that I can work with Mr. Chippa, and he's very open, very open. The first morning he actually gave a presentation to the staff and Dr. Muzamara about how he had gone to the ministry to request a bachelor's degree.
We usually do scans of not less than 40 patients. Yeah. But for the rooms, the extra rooms, in the extra rooms we do approximately around 150 patients. 150 patients per day. And in the city, it's usually around...
How many patients?
Yes.
A couple of 20.
Around 20. Around 20. So that will be in the city. So all in all, I think around 200 something patients go through this department daily. So that is that. So maybe now when I go to the reception, we show you our registration system. After the registration system, then we go to maybe one of the ultrasound rooms or and then maybe one of the X-ray rooms. From there, you go to the CT, and then after that, maybe you decide your program of work today, what you want to do, or just for today. Sure. So right now, let's go to the reception. And
Thank you. Yes. Mr. Chipa took us in the radiology department and showed us everything, and they have more empty rooms than working rooms. They have 1.5 X-ray room, really 1.5, and you know, they cleared a couple of them and they're waiting for donation. And you know, the problem with the donation is when they get the stuff donated, it's already 20, 30 years old machine, and you know, it's very old and there's no maintenance, so after a couple years of use, it's gonna break down. Nobody comes to fix it, and it's no use. They have to pack it, ship it back, and have empty room again. It's just a vicious cycle where machines are donated, but they're not very functional, and even if they are, they work for a couple of years, but there's no maintenance. So it's very frustrating.
One of the techs was explained to me yesterday that the machine has the capability to do ECG gating and do like virtual colonoscopies and all this other sort of stuff, but no one's actually taken the time to go and teach them how to use it properly, and the software in order to do that kind of stuff is really expensive. And so the techs were explaining to me that instead of paying for software they couldn't use, they could have, you know, had 2 other X-ray rooms open up, which was a little distressing to me. I mean, they really need someone to come and teach them not only, you know, how to use the equipment, but kind of what they're looking at. The techs themselves have only received like radiographic anatomy. They haven't kind of learned anything about sectional anatomy, and so Isaac and I were kind of trying to explain yesterday, but I mean, there's only so much you can tell someone within like a day that they're going to retain. It's something that kind of has to be repeated. But with that being said, the techs there do an absolutely fantastic job. All the x-rays that I saw come through were positioned perfectly, and since they're working with screen film, they had to do correct techniques and everything, and all of them looked really good to me.
Yeah, we don't see this too much where we're from.
Yeah. So these are the referencement tags. Okay. Yeah, so when you push a film into the machine will pump from the referencement tags into the machine, proportional to the type of film that they are facing.
You know, in the U.S., Dr. Davis was saying, you know, half the studies she reads is negative. Here, almost all the patients are positive because by the time they make it to the hospital, it's just too late or very severe. And it's just a little shocking to see. And of course, there's no internet. There's, well, almost no internet, very minimal internet. Images don't get read, so there's no really emergency patient. Trauma patients could be waiting 3, 4 days, 5 days, even weeks before they get imaging done or interpretation ready.
One thing I noticed there, and that it's a big thing that happens in developing countries when you're trying to get radiology services in, is that they have a lot of equipment, so they get a lot of donated equipment, but a lot of it's broken. It would be nice to have people join the chapter who are coming from an engineering perspective, and who could kind of help us work on this equipment, when we go, to give back a little bit in that way. Any kind of creativity that people can bring to the table as countries like Malawi, which the Malawi Ministry of Health, which is a part of the Malawi government, wants to transition their film radiography to digital radiography. So they're going to have to come up with some ways to establish a network, get computers in there, store patient data, all kinds of stuff that we deal with that's already kind of a headache for us. They're going to be doing it and they've never done it before.
Hi again, guys. It's day 4 in Malawi. I'm not entirely sure. It's a Wednesday, and we have our presentation today on sectional anatomy. So hopefully that goes well.
So we are 30 minutes to our presentation, and the power just went off, so we don't have a projector to do the presentation. So Heather is here drawing. I don't know what she's drawing.
It's math 30 or so.
I don't know. Okay.
That is a math 30.
That's actually pretty good.
Don't even.
So finger crossed it's gonna come back before they come back from break. Otherwise, I guess we're gonna be drawing all the pictures. And I guess sectional anatomy is gonna be a little bit tough. Drawing everything. But yeah, that's the situation right now.
Alrighty, so we just got done giving our first portion of the sectional anatomy lecture. All seemed pretty good. After giving them a couple pieces of chocolate, everyone seemed a lot more energetic.
Responsive. They talked a lot, which was good, and they responded a lot, so we assumed that they're taking it very well. And they're really cool guys.
Yeah.
We asked them why they're in radiography. Almost everyone is focused in the patient, and some of them are in it because they like some part of radiography. Some of them are inspired by someone they know, which was very interesting and very nice to hear that there's someone very aspiring someone else to be in radiography.
Yeah, all in all, it's truly a pleasure to have the opportunity to teach them and help them so they can, take that knowledge on and go on and help their patients and other people, because they're going to be wonderful technologists or radiographers, they call them here. They just, need more instruction. The more help we can give them, the more resources we can provide them with, the better they can be,
Definitely. And they do know stuff. They know their anatomy very well. And it's just that they don't have the sectional anatomy books, and they really don't have someone to give a lecture on sectional anatomy, and that's the only reason why they haven't seen it before. But when even seeing it for the first time, they responded a whole lot more. They surpassed our expectations, so this is great, and it's a great start. We really enjoyed it, and we're very fortunate to be here and sharing whatever we know. Yep.
Resort Malawi.
Isaac.
Anything?
Talk.
Hello.
Dr. Davis.
To the lake.
Uh-huh.
They took all our money on the way.
Enjoying your time? This is beautiful. Just breathtaking. Jesus.
Oh my God.
You okay?
Yeah, yeah. Closed spaces and lots of people aren't my favorite thing because there's nowhere to go. But I'll manage. I'll manage. That's why I'm running the video. I was
running?
yes.
So this side is for love. Cards, lost flowers, romantic side.
Okay. Isaac needs to go down there.
Malawi, 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 Malawi.
You are more than welcome to email me anytime. Any questions on digital. And if it's anatomy, there they are.
Phillips has already been here and done a lecture for the technologists
Great.
at the hospital on digital, and digital is coming.
Good. Woo! Good. Y'all are going to be a KCH. But it will get to the district hospital. There's no doubt about it. It's going to show up there before you know it. So, but when it does, you can get out your notes, look at your notes, send me an email, and we'll work it out from there. So thank you very much. You are free to go.
So I just want to congratulate you for what you have told us. And when you are usually for the first time when you come back to USA,
Thank you very much.
God will apply you in the rest of the
Thank you.